So, Dennis O'Rourke.
I want to speak on both clauses 3 and 4 of Part 1, and the first one relating to the purpose. Now, the purpose clause simply says this: the purpose of this Act is to make provision for 2 postal referendums to be held to enable electors to decide whether New Zealand should have a new flag, and to provide for a change of the New Zealand flag if electors decide New Zealand should have a new flag. So the first point I want to make is this. The purpose refers to deciding whether New Zealand should have a new flag. But in fact, that is not the question which is actually asked in the first referendum. So why does the purpose clause say that when the bill actually doesn't have that effect whatsoever? So the purpose clause is a complete misstatement for that reason alone, and that should be changed if this bill is to proceed any further. Secondly, the purpose clause presupposes that 2 referendums are needed for the purpose stated, to change the flag, when in fact, by adding the current New Zealand flag as one of the options in the first referendum, there would be no need for a second referendum at all. So again, the purpose clause is a complete misstatement which presupposes that 2 referendums are necessary when actually 1 would be enough. The third point I want to make about the purpose clause is this: it shouldn't refer to electors at all, because it's not electors who are going to decide, it is voters, that is to say, people who actually participate in the referendum. So that is, again, an error, I think, in the purpose clause. But the most important point is this: as I've just said, it will only be participants who decide which of the preferred 4 options should go forward. Now, what happens? What happens if you get, for example, below 25% participation by voters as distinct from electors? Do we really, as a nation, want to go ahead with another referendum on the basis of participation as low as that? I believe that the purpose is for New Zealanders as a whole, if they want a new flag, to say so. That this purpose clause and these referendums will not do that. So I believe that it would be fair and proper if there was an addition to Part 1 which said that if in fact there is a participation rate in respect of the first referendum below 25% of electors, then the whole process should stop right there and proceed no further. Now, I understand that Labor is going to say that that level should be 50%, and if that's the case, we would support that, but we believe that if it's below 25%, and I think it will be, then the whole thing should stop right there. Secondly, Mr. Chairman, I want to talk about Clause 4, because I think there is a real problem here. Clause 4 says that the Act is repealed 2 years after the date of the result of the second flag referendum is declared. Now, if the Act is to be repealed, then it would also repeal Section 69, and that is the section which actually amends Section 5 of the Flags, Emblems and Names Protection Act 1981. And that amendment actually replaces the current flag with the flag actually chosen as a result of these referendums. Therefore, it seems to me that if Section 69 is repealed as part of the repeal of the whole Act, then what is the effect of that? Doesn't it actually repeal Section 69(2), which amends the Flags, Emblems and Protection Act, therefore leaving New Zealand without a flag at all? Because if Section 69 is repealed, and the provision to amend the Flags, Emblems and Names Protection Act 1981 is repealed too, that means the new flag is not created as a New Zealand flag. So what would happen then? I think what would happen is there would be a default provision back to the current flag. I would like the Minister to answer that technical question, because I actually think that there is a substantial error in this piece of legislation, and it needs to be answered. It looks to me like a sloppy bit of drafting that needs to be corrected. It's a very serious question indeed.